Hello, crypto and Bitcoin traders. We've got some nice follow through for the bulls, some hype, FOMO, clearly entering a bull market, and we're going to talk about how that shifts perspective and the opportunities that allows us in this current trading market environment. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, I appreciate all your likes, subscribes, YouTube comments, videos, shares, all that good stuff. Before we get into the actual breakdown of the charts and where we stand and what we're looking at from here, I want to talk a little bit about the broader market environment that we are now in. We know we are in a bull market. That much is obvious in the cryptocurrency space. We're getting the media narrative, we're getting the headlines, the attention, we're getting people on CNBC talking about it, Paul Tudor Jones. So it's a bullish environment. And in this bullish environment, it obviously means that there's more opportunity for trading if you are more comfortable being bullish, which the vast majority of traders are. Also the fact that, fundamentally speaking, we have that bullish mindset in the back of our minds. So it's easier to be trading with that fundamental overall big picture mindset. So there's a couple things I want to talk about. First off is back burner trades. Again, Google back burner the chart, guys, for a video specifically about that. But when we're in this market environment, we know that we can buy after a significant bull move up, the first 5-minute oversold conditions and the first hourly oversold conditions and the first 4-hour oversold conditions. They all have very high probability trades as far as bounces. My edge as a trader, one of them is oversold bounces. So I love those setups, and I definitely have day trading capital allocated for that potential if I'm at the computer. And that's one big difference between 2017. I was shaping my life around Bitcoin trading in 2017. Now it's more passive. If I'm on the computer and if that drop happens to allow for a day trade in that 9-hour window that I am in front of the computer, then I will take that day trade on first 5-minute oversold conditions. So we know to be watching for those kind of back burner trades as high probability opportunities. We also know that the market environment generally sees, and again, we're going back historically and looking at the past few years, but 2017, you see a big bull move in Bitcoin, and then as Bitcoin starts to consolidate, you see those profits disperse. So rather than money leaving the crypto space, we know that's not happening. Money's coming into the crypto space right now, but we see Bitcoin run, it starts to consolidate, and then the major altcoins then take their turn to play catch up. So what that looks like, and let's look at it on a chart, is Bitcoin on the daily time frame, obviously a big bull move up, big bull volume, and with that, the dominance chart broke bullish as well. This daily chart on TradingView for the dominance chart is all out of whack, so you got to zoom in for details. Look at the 4-hour time frame, it's much more clear. But this is that breakout, and that's the money pouring into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the center of attention as far as these headlines. PayPal, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency for sure, but Bitcoin's the big daddy, it gets the attention, and we're going to be watching for more and more companies to be converting US dollars into Bitcoin. Those will be bullish headlines. Once we see consolidation start in Bitcoin, we look for the Bitcoin dominance chart to pull back, and we look for oversold bounces in our Bitcoin pairing charts of those altcoins. So essentially, that allows us opportunity to make money in Bitcoin, and then if we want to be actively trading, we take that profit selling into strength, and we then look at the other coins and try and make more money off of those coins. And in 2017, for me, it was just a game of musical chairs. We would go Bitcoin into Ethereum, it would be Ethereum's turn to run into Litecoin, and you could just visualize seeing literally just the money flowing from one to the next. And that allowed for me personally to outpace the massive bull run that Bitcoin saw percentage-wise, because I would make a percentage on Bitcoin, and then while it started consolidating, I would compound profit and make more by trading ETH shortly thereafter. So that is a trading style, and I got to give a big shout out to Chart Guys members. It's like, I feel like a dad, just a proud dad watching, because last night I was not in front of the screen late at night, but I went back and looked at what everybody was highlighting, and everybody nailed this ETH. There's a couple dozen people all chatting and pointing out, okay, we're watching for the altcoins now. You know, these are experienced traders that know the game. They've been around the block for 3+ years, and they were all over this laggard ETH bull move, which is still going at this point, up at the high right now and looking at 420 psychological resistance. So big shout out to Mod Step 2, Dan, who is also named Dan, who has been holding down the cryptocurrency chat room, because it was a very productive space last night as far as providing clear guidance and an actionable plan to be watching for, and great to see other people profiting from that. So I personally did not profit on ETH last night, but awesome to see that a lot of people did. So let's now break down the charts. So the dollar is bouncing, the 4-hour time frame, pretty solid bounce, absolutely, and a lot of space created for a 4-hour higher low to form once this bounce tops out. That being said, we'll just be viewing anything under 93.90 as just a daily lower high. If these bulls are going to set a weekly higher low, which is absolutely still possible at this point, because it's anything above 91.74, what I would need to see is a big enough bounce on the daily to create this space for a trend change. We had a big enough bounce on the daily here. We did not set the higher low, which again was a great sign for the asset bulls. So asset bulls just want to see continuation of the downtrend. If it's a big bounce that gets back up to the mid 93s, we'll be watching, always watching for the potential of a daily trend change setup, just so we can be prepared for a shift in sentiment in the dollar. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin bulls, again, beautiful follow through. I went over the video yesterday about some of the longer term time frames, and we know that the level is 13,900. We're just going to round up a little bit because each exchange has a bit different of a level. 13,900, let's just call it 14,000 if we want follow through. If we break 14,000, we are all then looking at 17,178 and 19,900, the all-time high. So we have a lack of resistance here. And when there is a lack of resistance, a little bit of dollar volume goes a long way for pushing the price up fast and hard. And that's why we get these big, you know, $1,000 plus candles, which we don't often see, but it's obviously wonderful when we see them as bulls. So again, my game plan, I'm still in my swing position and I'm not touching that. I will sit through daily consolidation from here because of how much space the bulls have to work with to keep completely healthy the next time we do see a daily high or low, just like the last time. So that is my game plan. Again, I do have capital that I have allocated for opportunities, but I am just riding it and have no plan of selling into strength on this current position because I'm pretty confident we're going to see a new all-time high in Bitcoin, whether it's 2020, 2021, not sure, but confident overall, bigger picture. Short term, hourly 12-period exponential, we're not holding it as crystal clear as we were, but I'm still using it as a guide. We were holding it crystal clear for about 48 hours. We then dipped below it, battled right around it, and now we're back to holding it crystal clear again. So it is remaining my short-term guide, and here we are heading up to 13,250 resistance, and that is still bullish. 4-hour, you could say our 4-hour little brief higher low was just under 12,700. So if you want a closer, tighter stop loss, that is a level that you're looking at. And if we break 13,250, again, there is no resistance aside from psychological levels and 13,900. So we'll see how long these bulls can keep their control. And with the dominance chart zoomed in, we can see a 4-hour higher low is forming. So just looking at that 1-hour chart for Bitcoin, I know that there is focus shifting back to Bitcoin to attempt another leg up. And I would expect this dominance chart to give us a 4-hour lower high and to tighten up a little bit. But while this 4-hour dominance chart is bouncing, we know that the BTC gains are going to be a little bit faster than the altcoin gains. Doesn't mean the altcoins can't go up with Bitcoin. It just means Bitcoin is going up a bit faster. So ETH, nice bull break of the double top at 395. We're looking at the next previous price level is all the way up at 451. So again, there is space for these bulls to be working with. We've got a 4-hour uptrend to be watching. We've got a daily uptrend to be watching. And the bulls have their complete control. It's just a question of, can we change the daily trend? We know it's a short-term oversold bounce right now on this dominance chart, but if we cannot change the daily trend, then we know Bitcoin's going to keep its control. So a support level that I'm now keeping an eye on is right there. We can see we hit it once, twice, 3 times now, and looks like a bit of a falling wedge shaping up. So I would expect an initial rejection from resistance potentially, but if this falling wedge breaks bullish, that's a time to be bullish ETH rather than Bitcoin. So that is something to be watching in the short term as well over the next, let's say, 5 trading days or so. Link USD, again, a laggard move. Playing catch up, bull break of 1182 in an area of a lack of resistance. We're looking up from here at 1329 and 1340. And if we get over 1340, there's a lot of space to work with. The weekly time frame is continuing its march back up. The all-time high is a long ways away. It's 65% away. So I would anticipate looking at the monthly perspective. Nah, I don't like the monthly. We'll go to the 2-week. Looking for a 2-week lower high compared to that all-time high, and anticipating that the more likely scenario, unless things get nutty in the crypto space again, like 2017, the more likely scenario will be a tightening longer-term time frame within such a wide range. And that's because of how much we pulled back from that all-time high. Binance is keeping healthy, keeping a weekly inside bar, and keeping within striking distance of 33.39 resistance. The daily time frame did have a little downtrend. That downtrend had 0 bear follow through. And if we can get back over 32, that keeps the bulls in complete control in the short term. XMR USD, weekly bull flag. So again, highlighted last video, I guess that was yesterday, the daily downtrend confirming with no bear follow through, which means zoom out and scout the bull flag. And it is a weekly bull flag that's going to try and confirm. And after that recent high of 135s, it's 142, 150, and 170. So nice, healthy weekly bull flag. VET-USD highlighted as a laggard play because of the falling wedge. We now have the daily trend change and an increase in bull volume underway. The bull break was 1189, confirming the bull break was 1204, and we're now looking at 1365 as the next resistance level from here for the bulls to try and continue this move. So definitely a laggard and definitely trying to play catch up. But we know we're watching for a monthly higher low to form on this bigger picture setup, and we're going to be watching perhaps for a weekly inverse head and shoulders if we see some follow through. But if we fail to break that high of 1589, we'll be watching for the potential of an inverse head and shoulders on the weekly, because we know a weekly trend change is needed if we're going to be confident that a monthly higher low has been set. Last thing I want to cover, LTC BTC. So I've been dogging on XRP and LTC bears, or I've been dogging on the bulls because it's been so weak recently. And you look at LT BTC, and I'm looking at a monthly falling wedge. So we did see a recent spike on LTC the last couple days. Why? Some people speculating maybe the payments for PayPal are faster. But all I care about is this chart. I don't care about the fundamentals. And it's a falling wedge inside a falling wedge. This is the monthly time frame. And I can say, okay, this fits really well. The support line is beautiful. The resistance line hasn't come into play in a long time. So that means I want to zoom in. And it's a falling wedge within a falling wedge because I can just look at the recent action over the last, 8 months and do that. So there is our falling wedge from the last 8 months of trading inside a falling wedge on the monthly time frame from our last 3 years of trading. So even if we break our short-term falling wedge bullish, we're not going to get overly bullish because we're just going to zoom out and watch the bigger picture. But again, it's something to be keeping an eye on now. And it doesn't mean I'm entering LTC, but it means if we see this weekly falling wedge break bullish, we're going to see LTC make up some considerable ground against the Bitcoin bulls. And it's just something to have on the back burner. So this doesn't fit the definition of a back burner trade, so I don't want to confuse that, but just the mindset of setting it over here, writing it down, saying, okay, every day check in on this pattern, because we know there could be a long-term trend change and shift in momentum. And we've seen it before, right? We saw the cryptocurrency space as a whole and Bitcoin go from a huge pullback over 2 years into a very bullish market environment. So I would expect to be watching for the potential of something to be happening similarly on this chart. Just a shift from complete bear control for years into a bull move. Just something to be watching over the next few months, and we'll see if the LTC bulls can prove anything to us. Get over 563 on this chart, and we'll be breaking bullish very clearly. So that's something to be watching. Hope you are all well. Hope you do good things out there, and I appreciate your attention. Have a good rest of your day. No new footage. Not much going on in the yard here into the fall, so we'll go back to some Florida from last year.